Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore, another edition of PodCRASH. This week, crashing a Fangirl's Guide, hosted by Cricket Lee and Jared Hoy. This is a podcast/radio show that is no longer in existence, but it was a great show, and I appeared on several editions of the show, and you'll be hearing clips from that later on. But a Fangirl's Guide brings up an interesting point. Girls have invaded nerd culture, and this is awesome. What took so long? As someone who has attended San Diego Comic-Con since the early 90s, where you would occasionally see the sighting of a hot chick like Bigfoot, it would be with that sort of excitement that I think I spotted a girl. She was coming towards the convention center. I'm not actually sure if she was going in, but she was hot. You'd only ever see like hot girls at Comic-Con with like dudes walking around with those artist portfolios. There'd always be like the artist portfolio dude walking around with the hot Asian girlfriend. I think Comic-Con should do a panel. How do you get a hot Asian girlfriend? That would be a panel that I could be on that panel. In any case, nerd girl culture has invaded, it's exploded, and I am so glad that this has occurred. Certainly, it's not that like nerd girls weren't around before. I mean, you know, they were attending conventions and whatnot, but now it's really been an invasion, and not just that, a participation on their terms, and that's awesome. I applaud it wholeheartedly. But even like 10 years ago at Comic-Con, you'd see almost, you know, the sort of smattering. And now it's in the last 5 years, it has blown up. It's not just girls there like showing up in costume to have their pictures taken. I mean, there are girls there in line at panels. There are girls that are fans of zombies, Star Wars, Doctor Who, you name it. They're dressed up. They're ready to rock the convention center. And I can't wait for that because WonderCon is coming up, and I hope to see a lot of nerd girls there. I'll talk about that later. Nerd girl culture. There's a lot of nerd girl podcasts and whatnot. Fangirl's Guide was one of the first, and Cricket Lee is someone that I've known for years, just from having gone to just whatever, I don't know, video game nerdy parties, and Cricket would always be there with a hug and maybe a marijuana laced lollipop and or piece of candy, which I don't know. I mean, it's candy. What do I know what's in it? Jared's also someone I know, Jared Hoy, who, you know what, kind of had a falling out with him over something that's actually very, very nerdy. I lent him, this is how nerds fall out of favor with each other, is I'm the kind of guy that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I follow through on that thing. If you call me on it, like I didn't do exactly the thing I was supposed to do, I'll fix it right away. Jared, I lent him, I think he still has these. I lent him a bunch of 3DO games. I had this I'm very anal retentive and organized. I have this big binder is how I keep some of my old video games, because I just sort of throw away the boxes and I keep maybe the sleeves and then just the actual CDs themselves, and I put them in cases so that I can take like, you know, this would fill up a shelf, but I just have a binder filled with like 200 CDs. And I lent him a bunch of my old 3DO games, which, sure, I don't have a 3DO player. I'm never going to play it. But he was going to borrow them and then copy them and then return it. You know what? Who cares? It's garbage, whatever. I don't go by that thing. I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I borrow something from you, I want to get it back to you, like, right away. I actually don't want to have it, frankly. I'd rather not have the guilt and responsibility of borrowing something from a friend and then somehow figuring out later, like, if I borrow something, a book, whatever, or whatever it is, if I borrow it, I'm going to set it aside and I'll be looking at it to the point where this is how insane. I just have to mail it back to friends. I can't keep it in my, because just the act of looking on it to me is like looking at something that I haven't done, staring at me. And there's a book that I borrowed from a friend and it's on the shelf and it's looking at me and it's saying, you ever going to return that book? You ever going to return that book? You're going to keep your word? You're going to keep your promise? You're going to return that book like you said you would? Yes, I will return that book. So I usually mail it back. And how I would lend, even when I lend DVDs, which I don't lend DVDs out anymore. If I give a DVD to a friend, I'm just like, keep it. I don't care. But what I used to do when I had this huge DVD collection before the big purge, and by the big purge, I mean before Blu-ray came out, or even I had some HD DVDs. Yes, I had some of those. It was awful. In any case, I would take the case, I would open it up and say, I'm lending you this DVD, and I would give them a different sort of CD case, and I would write the name of the person inside the DVD case who borrowed it. So whenever I would open that, I'd go, I know exactly who has it. Dennis Priswera, give me my DVD back. And I'd have his name in there. That's how I would, I know, it's sort of a cheap system, but that's how I would lend my, nerds are very particular about these kinds of things. This is not a frivolous thing to be upset with someone about. It's also like, at the end of the day, I really don't care about that kind of stuff, because who needs possessions? Isn't that something like what Anakin said in episode 2 of the Star Wars prequels? Who needs possessions? But I think, who needs a lot of possessions is nerds need a lot of possessions, because merch, pretty much the Star Wars empire was built on merch, but it's apparently a philosophy. It's an anti-merch philosophy if you're a Jedi. All right, I don't know what this has to do with today's PodCRASH, today's crash. But a Fangirl's Guide was a lot of fun. And even though this interview I did took place in June of 2009, a lot of the subject matter is relevant today. I mean, it's just talk about zombies and nerd culture and Twitter, and I mean, it's all over the map. But really the show is really run by Cricket Lee. I mean, you'll hear Jared, talk every once in a while, but it's Cricket's show, and she's amazing at it. Really, you got to bring this back, Cricket. Podcasts, they're easy to do. You know that. So you can find them, even though the show's not in existence, at Fangirls Guide on Twitter, at Crix Lee, Crix Lee, and at Jared Hoy on Twitter. They're great. Podcast was a lot of fun. And, there's some interesting stuff that happens here. There's some interesting stuff. Before I actually get to that audio, I need to preface this. We talk about a lot of different nerdy things. One of the things that's really interesting is I got right before I was on the show, I got in a fight with a guy on Twitter who wanted to get me fired from G4, wanted to get me fired from Attack of the Show, said that my reviews were moronic and blah, 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 and on and on. He said they should fire Chris Gore. So I took this guy to task, and I made his life a living hell that day. And he actually later in the podcast actually comes on to apologize to me during the podcast. It's great. I mean, that's one of the things that's really funny is at Twitter you can get in a fight with someone. I mean, really for me, I don't get in fights with people so much anymore. Pretty much just block or ignore, because I don't get to tweet as much as I would like to. I'm busy working on some of these other outside projects, which I should tell you about. Upcoming WonderCon, Saturday, March 17th. I'm doing a panel called Wild Cartoon Kingdom. It's at the Anaheim Convention Center. I'll be presenting footage from upcoming animated shows that I am involved with. I've talked about Fetishville, one of the shows, another show, Last Guys on Earth. You're going to get your first taste of those shows that I've been working on for a while at WonderCon, Saturday, March 17th. Come to the panel. It also is that St. Patrick's Day weekend? Yeah, we're going out drinking after the panel. If you go to the panel and you hang out and you come there for some of the freebies I'll be giving away, you'll be the first to see the footage. This won't be screened online. This is just me showing it to you for fun. And see what you think. I think you're going to like it. And afterwards, we're all going out drinking, and I'll announce where we'll be drinking at that panel. So come out, because we're going to have a lot of special guests, including Sarah Underwood, my colleague. Yes, she's my colleague on Attack of the Show. Before we get to the crash, one last thing. I got to tell you, I've been doing this podcast for free. It helps if you contribute a little something, and there's a way you can contribute. My short film Red, it's about the infamous 2 bar tapes, and the bartender Red, he's tortured by those prank phone calls. Is Al there? Alcohol? Is there alcohol there? Okay, you can get Red now on DVD. It's loaded with extras, including behind-the-scenes commentary, even a drunk commentary. If you go to Etsy.com, ETSY.com, search for Red DVD, enter the offer code PodCRASH. You'll get 50% off the DVD. That's right, 50% off. It's a good deal. I've got 1 box of these left. Now it's less than 20 of these exist. Less than 20 copies of Red exist on DVD, so order it today. Red on DVD at Etsy.com. And I'll stop actually saying this ad once all the DVDs are gone. I think I know there's less than 20, so you should hurry up and get that. In any case, let's get right to this week's Crash. When I say right to, we're 10 minutes in, but, I'm enjoying talking to you. I feel like now I've got this relationship with this audience, with you guys. And I especially appreciate when you've given us good reviews on iTunes. Oh, my God, there's the good reviews are rolling in. I really appreciate when you post 5-star rating, I hope. If we deserve it, give us 5 stars. And, writing something on there, a little about the show for people who've never heard of it, because they want to use your reviews to see if they should listen to my show. So I appreciate when you leave a little something. I'll read from one of those reviews later on. Let's get to this week's Crash. Nerd girl culture exploding. A Fangirl's Guide, hosted by Cricket Lee and Jared Hoy. Give it a listen, nerds.
How did you feel about when a movie like Dawn of the Dead, when James Gunn did the rewrite on that, they speeded up there was no longer the Shaun of the Dead. We get Shaun of the Dead where the zombies are slow and stupid, and then you go to a movie like the James Gunn rewrite of the new Dawn of the Dead, where running they are fast as fuck.
Let's be honest, would Left 4 Dead be fun without running zombies? In fact, I blame James Gunn basically for the running zombies. I think and I mean that in a good way, because Left 4 Dead, the video game, wouldn't be nearly as fun with slow-moving zombies. Think about it.
Right, like, hey, boom. It would be like shooting fish in a barrel.
You saw the Naked Zoe pictures, right?
I have not. I saw Twitter.
I posted some Naked Zoe pics on my Twitter account.
I hear they're quite fap-worthy from what I understand.
Which is that Chris Gore. It's twitter.com/
at that Chris Gore.
It's that Chris Gore, yeah. But I don't know. I found I don't know. I think Naked Zoe's pretty hot.
Zoe's hot anyway, but I gotta say the new chick Rochelle in Left 4 Dead 2, she's got a fucking stomping ass, dude. She's got a butt.
It's gonna be. I can't wait.
She's got a bubble butt, dude. I was impressed.
I am so pre-ordering that.
Did you play it at E3? Did you get a chance?
No, I was in line to play it. It was, I didn't get to have as much fun at E3 as I would have liked.
Next time you use your clout, go upstairs. That's what I did.
What clout? What are you talking about?
Dude, people recognize your ass. Are you kidding? You're on G4. People are like, hey, check it out.
No, not as much as you would think, but only in random situations where it can be inconvenient.
Right.
Like when I'm urinating next to someone.
It's like, looks at your penis. Hey, you're Chris Gore. Check out your wang.
You recognize my cock?
Is my name is not written on my cock. It's like, hey, buddy, my eyes are up here.
Nice.
Well, in the chat room, I just want to say a quick hi to the ones that aren't lurking, because I know that we always get quite a few lurkers. So I want to say hi to Alexandra. Drink Moxie. Well, Drink Moxie says that you blocked her.
I blocked her.
Yeah. Says, can you ask that Chris Gore blocked me on his Twitter?
I don't block anybody.
Sorry, it was a dude.
Oh, it's a dude?
Listen, if you have a name like Moxie, I'm just going to assume you're a dude.
Right. I don't know, but I don't know. I'll unblock you, I guess. I don't know. Why did I block him? Why would I block him?
I don't know. Why would you block him?
Saying, Chris Gore doesn't even follow me, and I hang out with the guy, so...
Should I follow you?
You should. I say some interesting things. Especially about
But puffins. I could just call you and you could just tell me those.
Exactly. Don't you guys are such bromosexuals. It's not even funny. I know you guys text each other.
Bromosexuals?
I don't like the word bromance. I'm like bromo.
Bromosexual.
No, actually, I did not make up that word. The word that I made up was called sweetchous, which is sweet and righteous put together. But bromos, Sweetchous. I've heard bromo before.
Bromo makes sense.
Bromo. Instead of bromance. Bromance to me just sounds so...
Well, I think there's different stages. Like you go through the man crush.
You mean like the time you texted me and was like, me and Chris are holding hands at the bar as a joke, but I thought it was hilarious.
I'll be honest.
We were holding hands at the bar.
I do have a man crush on Blair Herter, who works at G4.
He's smoking.
That guy's
that dude.
I don't know about the physically thing, but he's just fucking a fun and a cool dude. And I guess someone started a Facebook group. Basically, that like they hate Blair Herter on X-Play. They want to get Blair Herter off X-Play. I love Blair Herter. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people in TV. He is one of the coolest, most fun guys to hang out with. And we've had so much fun at AEE hanging out. And big fan of Blair. So
Blair's a good guy, man.
He is fucking awesome.
He's just one of those guys that even if he wasn't attractive, his brains would just, make him sexy for me.
What's great about being a dude is you can be ugly and still be attractive.
No, it's true. It's true. Hello to Sergeant Silent.
Why are you looking at me?
Look, that is true. He looks straight at Jared. Thank God.
Maybe I'm saying you're attractive.
I
don't know why you're reading into that. You're reading something into that. What are you doing? Oh my God.
Bromos.
Anyways, yeah, bromos. Oh, that's funny. Bromos.
Bromos. Yeah.
Hashtag that fucker.
Bromos. Bromos. Alexandra is asking if you are going to Comic-Con. I know I am, and Jared is, but I don't want to confirm.
I'm definitely going to Comic-Con, but I'm going to sort of be doing half Comic-Con and half hanging out at the pool at the Marriott, where
all the hot chicks are.
If you want to, basically, it's all the hot girlfriends and cougar milfs of the wives of all the dudes down there to be at Comic-Con.
Right.
So they're like, the TV writers and the actors and whatever. They're all staying at the Marriott. So the Marriott pool is all these like chicks with their kids and me with my
enormous penis.
Unbelievable six-pack abs covered by a creamy, delicious layer of fat. Jared, you know me. I'm a nice guy.
We have never drank a shot dropped into the middle of a candle before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You guys did do that, didn't you? What the fuck? I was like, that can't possibly be a drink.
I don't know. We were at this bar, and I'm like, there was like one of those candles that was sort of
on its last legs, like
it was on its last legs. It's like a little tea light thing, and I was like, how about I do it? You know how people like drop a shot into a glass of beer and then drink it,
right? Like a Boilermaker.
Yeah. So I took this candle, which was basically all melted wax. I dropped it in the beer and I freaking drank it.
Crunchy candle.
Or at least my memory
is
actually I don't have a memory other than that I took a photo of it.
You sipped from it.
I sipped.
Yeah, Typhoid Annie says crunchy candle, ew. And then Sergeant Silent says, Gore, any truth to the rumor you put a diaper on and jumped in a basket in front of Angelina Jolie's house and the chance that she would adopt you?
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, that never happened. I can tell you some crazy shit that I've done. I've never done that. I already hate the sound of my own voice. Like when I came up with the concept for this show, now it's sort of torture that I have to sit here and listen to myself. It drives me nuts. It's one of those things where people will ask me, like, what did you review on the show today? I'll run into people in the halls at G4. What did you review on the show today? I don't remember. I don't go watch myself on TV. I haven't watched myself on TV in years. It was a strange thing, actually, when I first started doing TV, because I don't watch myself. A guy said, hey, you know that you lick your lips a lot when you're on TV? So I actually stopped doing that. I started to become really self-conscious, so I don't watch myself, and listening to myself is torture. It's actually torture to sit here and listen to me constantly. Do people like listening to the sound of their own voice? I certainly don't, but I can tell, and I do recall when I did this podcast that it was a really long drive up in the valley. And it was at some, swanky apartment complex where every single apartment building looks exactly the same. So it was impossible to find. I was already several beers in by the time the podcast started. And so I think you can tell by my voice I'm kind of out of it. Maybe more out of it than normal. I don't know, but it's weird because listening to these, oh God, I don't know. All right, look, let's just get back to it because now it's going to start to get really interesting.
So let's do this. Where is your blog so we can find our information on our friend that we're about to phone here in about 2 seconds?
Wait, you want to do this now?
We have to. Yeah, because we have six celebrities to cover.
Look, here's the deal. I don't care if people disagree with things that I say. This is the discourse, the discussion we have. This is why I love the nerddom. You think that this movie is better than that movie. That's cool. I respect your opinion. That's fine.
Right.
Occasionally I'll go, you know what? I turned my brain off and I saw the movie Meet the Spartans. I kind of liked it.
I did too.
I thought it was kind of funny.
I thought it was overly ridiculous.
It was overly stupid. But, as someone, I like spoof movies because I made a spoof movie. My big fan independent movie. I made that film. So I always respect people's opinions, but I will just say this because I never aspired to be a movie critic. People ask me, and first of all, I don't think I'm a very good movie critic, all right? I'm going to tell you that honestly, straight up. I never aspired to be one. I don't think I'm a very good one. I don't know what I am. I've made films. I've written books. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of public speaking. I do television. I can be funny on occasion and entertaining. I don't know what my title should be. I'm an extreme competitive interior decorator, which isn't even a title of anything. But look,
that could be a show on G4.
It could be, but I never aspired to be a movie critic per se. I just love and am very passionate about movies. For some reason, people that talk about movies, and I don't know why this is, because movies are very personal, is going to be my guess. If someone says something like let's say you said Streets of Fire was your favorite film of all time, and I said, I think that movie is terrible. I think it's awful. I think it was poorly directed.
Oh, I agree.
But you would be,
but I'd be like, fuck you, man.
As a personal comment.
Right.
It would be like I was insulting your very soul.
It's like, what are you telling me? I'm stupid? What the fuck is your problem, man?
Exactly. So, but I've never taken that stuff personally. In fact, the thing I like the most is I like to read people I disagree with more than I like to read people that, why would I want to read someone whose opinion I already agree with? Who gives a shit?
Right.
You know,
I want to read people that I disagree with. But the thing is the thing that I always have respect for the other person's opinion. Always respect. But on occasion, there will be a Yahoo who might say something that I think kind of crosses a line. That isn't a particularly well thought out opinion.
Right.
That I think actually kind of pisses me off.
Right.
And this guy that I saw today, a film student, he's basically a film student, said that I should be fired from G4. Now, I've said a lot of crazy things. I've done some things. And maybe I've done some things where I had to read a pamphlet in human resources at G4. I'm not going to say why.
I can guess why.
I'm not going to say why. Whatever.
Well, I guess let's get Mike on the phone because...
All right, yeah. Well, basically, he just suggested that I should be fired. So... What we need to do is talk to Mike, and you might want to read like some of the stuff that he said first. I don't know if you want to start out.
Well,
with
I have your Twitter. I have your Twitter up. I have his.
Do you have this? Do you have the thing where he originally?
I could not find it.
Here you go. You can start reading from there.
Okay.
You can start. Maybe you want to set this up before we call him.
Okay. So he says, "All right."
This is what happened.
I'm not saying his last name, but his first name is Mike. He says, whenever I'm in Cleveland, staying at my dad's house between college semesters, I usually watch a lot of G4. Great channel, and the best show on the channel is Attack of the Show. It's funny, informative, and never ends without a geekgasm.
So far, I agree with him.
But the one, I can't believe, what is he, like a 70-year-old Cajun? But the one thing that has always been stuck in my craw about the show is critic Chris Gore. Always thought, well, this guy seems a little off. Then he gave a couple of films I liked shitty reviews, but what did I find in the archives? He actually liked Meet the Spartans. So anyway, I made this Twitter post, which I did see. BTW, I think Attack of the Show should fire Chris Gore. Sure, he's a good guy, but he gives shitty movies and good reviews and vice versa. I don't know what the fuck that meant. Come on. Well, I was hoping my anti-religion posts or other posts would catch attention, but for some reason, that post is getting the most replies, the one where you're saying that Chris should be fired. Let's take a look, shall we?
This is starting to get boring. Are you bored?
Right, I'm
really
totally
bored.
fucking bored.
Let's just get him on the phone. Let's just
he
get him on the
says
phone.
He's managing a campus radio station.
Let's get this fucking
blah.
guy on the phone because I obviously have a bone to pick with him.
All right, so here we go.
Wait, so okay.
Hey, Mike, this is Crixley at A Fangirl's Guide. How are you?
I've had time to settle. I've been really just out of it all day because of this whole mess and, my overreacting, which was highly inappropriate, but we'll get onto that, I'm sure.
Right.
But, other than that,
well, my first question is what movie was it that spurned this whole shit show, like the shitstorm that you have inadvertently started? Like, what was the movie that pissed you off enough to make you say Chris Gore should be fired?
I'll be honest with you. It was like a whole rough week for me. I wasn't paying full attention because I was like, when you're a college student, you're on summer break, what a bitch it is, fine job. And I was kind of taking on the wrong person. And I overheard something positive about Uwe Boll, and that kind of set me off a little bit. I looked at the review later on.
Well, the first thing I would say is, did you see that movie? Did you see Tunnel Rats? I've seen it.
He's asking if you've actually seen Tunnel Rats. Have you seen that movie?
I've only seen maybe 2 movies of Uwe Boll, and it was I saw half of Blood Rain. I saw, what was that other movie? Return, or not, what the hell is that movie? With Jason Statham? The Name of the King? Something like that. The thing is, like I said, though, like, it was kind of, like, didn't pay full attention the first time around, just me kind of flipping out to it. It was like, I was just so having a rough day. And then I rewatched it later and go, oh, shit, I just completely, slammed Chris Gore, and it wasn't even necessary. But it wasn't even so much that post-long, rewatching it. The way the whole rest of the day went was, after the whole thing happened, and they got a phone call from my girlfriend, and then after time passed...
Wait a second, wait, let's stop for a minute.
What did you say?
Stop.
So wait, your girlfriend?
Wait, you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, that wasn't my question. That was his question.
I was just asking. He has a girlfriend. I think that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you. Anyway, so... And then after that, though, this is all kind of clear, and I was thinking... Like, the midnight re-airing of Attack of the Show came on, and you came on the screen. I was like, oh, my God. I just said something about Chris Gore. Well, and I thought to myself, well, you know what? Attack of the Show gets so many, at replies. I'm sure they probably get, so many per second. It probably won't even be noticed. Maybe if I delete it, no one will notice, and...
So you thought it was just gonna fly by. Basically, you thought it would just be a blip and nobody would see it. But you have to realize that when you at somebody, and we actually talked about this before the show, when you at somebody, even if you're talking to just Attack of the Show, if you said to Attack of the Show, I think at Crixley fucking sucks, it's gonna come to me too. So obviously, when you put that Chris Gore in there, it goes to Chris. So, Chris sees that too. I mean, a lot of Twitter people that are relatively new to Twitter still don't understand this. Or if you have TweetDeck, right.
That you'll see.
So, so that's how that happens. So you got to be careful about that shit. But, you have the right to your opinion. So, okay, so then everybody started.
No, wait. You do not have the right to your opinion.
Oh, really? Okay.
No. Let's clarify this for the universe. You only have the right to your informed opinion. An informed opinion is different than an opinion. Because if you're talking about a movie called Tunnel Rats that you haven't seen and you don't think it's very good, and I've seen it and I think it's good, then my opinion is more valid than yours. Do you understand?
I agree, sir.
Exactly. So the point is this. You only have the right to your informed opinion. And that goes for everything. It goes for politics. It goes for movies. It goes for music. An informed opinion is more valid than an opinion that is not informed. And an opinion that's not informed is worthless. I have always believed that. If you have an opinion that isn't informed, it's worthless. It's pointless. I mean, I have a lot of opinions about a lot of things. But there are so many things I have no opinion about because I don't know everything about them. My opinion is pointless. When it comes to global warming, I would go with what the scientist says over me. Maybe he knows more. So I've always believed that. But what's interesting is seeing this Twitter fight, this Twitter battle actually play out over this radio show / PodCRASH, a Fangirl's Guide. I wonder how it'll all turn out. I wonder who will win in this battle between the angry film student and the older angry film student who now kind of has this... Anyways, all right, back to this battle. Listen to how this plays out. All right, wait. Here's something. I know that you posted an apology. And I'm going to be honest with you and say I have not read the apology. Could you read the apology to me?
Yeah, let me go back.
All right. Let's no. Okay, I'm going to listen to the apology, and then I'm going to talk to Cricket and Jared, and they're going to give me advice on whether or not I should accept the apology. I want to hear what you guys have to say after, but first I want to hear Mike give the apology, and then I'm going to think about it. I'm going to take your opinions, and then I will decide. So let's hear the apology, Mike, when you're ready.
Chris, the other day I made an uncalled for comment on Twitter that caught your attention at Switch 1021.
All right, wait. First of all, let me stop you for a second. First of all, it's completely accurate. Now you can continue.
Okay. However, Twitter does not support enough characters to say what I really want, so I'm just saying out this email. Anyway, I appreciate you reading the original blog. Listen, I know you have like I know that I have trouble respecting other differences in opinion. It's a big problem that I have. But saying that you should be fired was completely out of line for me to say.
Wait. Let me stop you for a second. I still agree with what you're saying. Okay, wait a second. Okay, now you can continue. Okay, go on.
I had a rough couple of days for the summer. I completely took it out on the wrong guy. As the smoke cleared, I really did feel bad about what I said. Not saying it just to suck up. I actually mean it because I can admit to my so I can be a man and admit to my own mistakes. Yes, a lot of your reviews have baffled me, but I did say, well, for the most part, on a good day, I said, well, it is just his opinion. I do respect film critics, as it's something I love to do professionally. I'm not going to say, though, I always thought you seemed like a good guy. I plan to come to California when college is all over, and if I run to you by some chance...
All right, wait. Can I stop you a sec again, Mike? I'm sorry to do this to you. I know it sounds like I'm being a dick. You're reading something. I want you to stop reading for a second. Be real with me.
I completely acknowledge that what I did was wrong, and the whole thing about saying that, I completely agree with you. I shouldn't have had an opinion on something that I don't know about. Those were always people that I always got into cases of, and, then I, as a hypocrite, pretty much did the same thing. And I completely apologize, and I feel like, I felt like such an asshole the entire day, just, regretting it. I've been... Well, but wait a second.
We can agree on something. Let's agree on something. You are an asshole. You are an asshole. Yeah. I mean, I do we all agree? I want to hear from my co-host.
Mike.
No, Cricket.
No, I do have to.
Come on, let's hear it.
Yeah, you were kind of an asshole with your Twitter.
Jared.
I want to hear the rest of the apology.
But yes, no,
I'm not going to say. Let me just say, Mike, this is real. I'm going to hear the rest of your apology, and then we're going to discuss it, and we will come to a decision. Let me hear the rest, but also, please don't make it more than 30 seconds, because I'm so fucking bored. I want to punch myself in the taint. So, look, every week, I'm on DV Tuesday for 4 minutes every week. 4 minutes! You've taken 70 minutes with your apology. I'm looking at my watch, and I'm actually wearing a watch. It's almost 10:30. This is late. Look.
Yeah, we still have a lot of show to go.
30 more seconds, Mike. Wrap it up real quick.
Go for it, Mike.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay. What I think was completely wrong. I appreciate the fact that you're listening to my apology, but I completely apologize. Everything I said was just
wait. Could you just say I'm sorry?
He did.
You said I apologize.
Say you're sorry. Just say I'm sorry, dude.
I'm really sorry, dude. I am so sorry.
See, Chris, I gotta, I'm just gonna go ahead. He said he was really sorry, man. And you know what? I gotta.
Okay. No, wait. So I'm gonna wait. Okay. So now I have listened to the apology of Mike. I'm gonna now. I want to listen to what Cricket and Jared have to say, and then I'm gonna consider it, and then I will come to my decision. I do have to admit that I kind of feel something for this guy Mike, whose day I ruined. Whose day I ruined by basically getting all of my followers to attack him on Twitter. I ruined this kid's day. I feel awful about it. But also, I was just like this guy. I love to mess with people. I love to fuck with people. I like to... I don't know. It's one of those things I just can't resist. If there's an opportunity to goof on someone or play a practical joke that is not going to hurt anyone, no property damage involved... maybe I love it. I can't walk away from an opportunity like that. What can I say? So I do feel for this dude. But this is entertaining. I think this is entertaining to me because most of the podcasts that I've talked about on PodCRASH, I remember it because it happened recently, and I was on that one. I remember what it is. This is like new to me because this is from 2009. 2009! Good year, 2009. Anyways, back to the podcast.
Okay, so I'm going to go first, and I have to...
Well, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think... Well, looking at him as a film, he's a film student, and, he's passionate about what he does. Did he handle it the right way initially? Absolutely not. Is he trying to make amends for it now? I got to believe him.
You know what? I'll just say this. I remember when I was in college, in high school, I was kind of a douchebag, which he reminds me of my douchebagginess back then. he's basically like me when I was a douchebag back in school.
Right.
So I can kind of relate in a way.
Because you're fucking passionate about film too.
Yes. But I never would cross those lines. I would never cross those lines. But I can definitely see. I wasn't that much of a douchebag.
Right. But I think this is why, Mike needs someone like you to look up to and to say, to find out what is the right way and the wrong way to do critiquing.
You think I should adopt Mike like Angelina Jolie?
Sure. No, what I'm saying is if it was me, I would forgive him. I mean, the kid sounds scared. I mean, you obviously scared the fuck out of him. But I truly believe that he's really trying to make amends. And I think,
Okay, all right. I've heard what you have to say, Cricket. Jared, I want to hear what you have to say.
I think, he's out of line. However, my instant response after Transformers 2 was, how the fuck does Michael Bay keep making movies? Now, that's backed up with, I have the ability, knowledge, and experience to also make movies.
Right.
And also, he had not seen the film in question, so, he's not coming with the info to have a genuine debate and or conversation.
So you think I should basically not accept the apology from Mike?
I think you should accept the spirit of the apology.
That sounds pussy to me.
He needs to learn.
That does sound pussy to me,
That sounds
too.
pussy, Jared.
He needs to learn that when there's an argument or when he says something, he should have the data to back it up.
Yeah, that's what anybody.
You need to take responsibility.
If I was like, Chris Gore sucks, here's why. If I had a list of why I was upset with you, I would be like, Chris, this is why I'm pissed at you.
I could potentially agree with that.
Right. It's like
with the list of Chris Gore. In fact, I'll start the list.
But if I'm mad at you, Chris, I'll be like, dude, I'm pissed at you, and here is why. Anytime you say like,
my toenail clippings,
right? Like, I found your toenail clipping in my Red Bull, right?
What all the stupid shit that actually I don't do those things. I've gotten the advice from you, Cricket, and Jared. I've gotten your advice as well, and now I've come to a decision. And Mike, I'm going to accept your apology.
Okay, Mike, you're back on the mic.
Thank you, sir. I heard you, and thank you so much. I'm really sincere about the whole thing, and so far, if I can go back in time, I would take it all back, sir.
No. You know what? It's fine.
Don't take it back.
Don't take it back. Look, it's cool. I accept your apology, and I appreciate that. First of all, that you had the balls enough, and only you and your girlfriend would know how huge your balls are. But all I'm saying is, in my opinion, sir, you have giant, enormous balls.
Yeah, because to be fair, I mean, he gave you his fucking home number.
Yeah. I mean, that's home number and or a mobile number.
Exactly.
Whatever. I'm saying, Mike, I appreciate it. I think you've got huge balls, and I appreciate that you came on and defended and you apologize. I appreciate that.
So all you Chris Gore Twitter followers out there, sorry, Mike, go ahead. Say your piece. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's listen to Mike for a second.
I'll say thank you, I just felt so horrible about everything I said, and I pretty much learned, like I said, I didn't say something, but I said to our Twitterer who initially sounded with a scathing comment, we kind of talked it over, and, she's like, all right, well, hey, mistakes for me. I'm like, yeah, lesson learned, stay the fuck away from a computer when you're in a bad mood.
That's the best advice ever.
It's cool. Mike, thank you. I will give the commencement speech at your school. I'm serious. I'll come out to the school, and I'll come to your film school and speak.
I'll have to admit that I never actually went to his film school and spoke, but I'm happy to do it. I would do it. I would absolutely go there and speak, and I would give out. I would give out books. I would give out T-shirts. I think if we just sat down, I think you could pretty much solve anything over a couple of beers if you have tolerance for someone else's opposing opinion. So maybe that's why I don't get upset when someone has a different opinion than my own when I'm reading a film review. I'm shocked at, I'll just say, here's what I think of it and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly Twitter blows up with Gore, you're an idiot. How could you, is there, my rule of thumb is I don't say anything on Twitter I wouldn't say to someone's face. I don't say anything on the internet I would not actually say to a person's face in front of me. And I think we've become such a disconnected culture that it's like we're the people who flip each other off in cars for making a human mistake. I don't do that. And I enjoy diversity of opinion. I actually prefer to read and or listen to people's opinions divert from my own, just because I'd like to get some perspective. I'm strong enough in my own beliefs that you're not gonna sway me, but I do like to know what the other side's thinking. Any case, that was a lot of fun on Fangirl's Guide, a kind of different PodCRASH than our more recent ones, and it's unfortunate that it's a podcast that no longer exists. But you can certainly, maybe you can motivate Cricket and Jared to resurrect this podcast. So look up at Fangirl's Guide. You can Google a Fangirl's Guide. Look for them. They're on Facebook, Twitter. You can follow Cricket Lee at Crixlee, Crixlee, and Jared Hoy at Jared Hoy, Hoy. They're on Twitter. Hit them up. Hopefully you'll have something nice to say. Try to say something nice on the internet. Why don't you do that this week? Say something nice on the internet. That would be a change. And, of course, follow the show. At PodCRASH Show on Twitter. Follow me at that Chris Gore. Like our Facebook fan page. That's facebook.com/PodCRASH. And go to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review if you think we deserve it. Right now we have 69 reviews, and it's average 5 stars. I almost don't want it to change, 69 reviews. But we've got Chaz Biz says, this has to be one of my favorite podcasts. I love the format of the show, and I like to listen to the other podcasts too. Thanks, Chris. And that's the point of the show, is so that you can discover other podcasts. It's not all about me. Although, if you really think about it, it's the most narcissistic idea for a podcast ever in the history of podcasts. Think about it. I mean, but my little, sort of motive agenda, that's sort of hidden agenda here, is for you to discover other podcasts other than mine. But please go to iTunes, give me a 5-star review, and I will love you for that. But now it's the time of the show where I have to say goodbye. And by goodbye, I mean, let's get out of here!
Let's get out of here! What's that? It's blowing up from the inside.
We didn't hit it.
Now this is pod racing.
Look, one of ours out of the main hole.
Hey, if you're still listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're the kind of person who stays through the end credits of a movie, so you can read every single name. That makes you a big nerd. That means we have a lot in common. I really like you. For that, you shall be rewarded. The first 2 people to go to facebook.com/PodCRASH, like our page, and post, "Let's get out of here," will get a free DVD. Hurry and do it. And the DVD is, kind of my choice, so you never know what you're going to get. It could be something really god-awful. Actually, it's probably going to be a pretty bad DVD. But I'll send it to you, and I'll send it to you with something else kind of cool, too. But you have to go to facebook.com/PodCRASH, like, say, "Let's get out of here." And to that I say, later.